So, hey everyone. Um, well, pleasure to meet you all. Okay, so just wanted to make sure that my sound is okay. Do you all hear me? I'm waiting for you to tell me, but hey, it's a pleasure to meet you all. I already see that the chat is going a little crazy. Okay, so I wanted to take the time today to talk to you about a few things, mainly announce a few things around 1.3. Just answer all my questions, the questions you might have, and maybe watch a little evolution together. I'll maybe start by showing you some things. um, yeah, so this is my first time, so please be indulgent and don't be too harsh on me. So yeah, let's start. One of the few things that was very apparent through all your comments is that the node system from the Bibits are very hard to understand. So you see here, that's not a network too bad, but it's very, very confusing when it gets very crowded there. Maybe we can find a Bibit that's a little more, maybe just restart the simulation. Yeah, like this one. Yeah. You can see that it gets pretty crowded. Like this one did die pretty fast also. But yeah. So it can get very, very confusing at times, and for no reason, like the path crosses and things like that. So I decided to work on another implementation. Namely, I'm trying to make a force-directed graphs to draw their brain. This is an early design, but I hope that you'll be able to understand what it is approximately. So the idea would be like that all the neurons can move in place, and just having like few forces exerted between them, we would be able to the graph would be able to arrange itself in a position that makes sense and is pretty optimal. Like that, we could easily see like the different layouts and things like that. So I'll just wait to see what you have to say about it. If you think it's the right direction in generals, you seem to like apples. That's good. Okay. I sound Polish. Well, yeah, maybe. I'm Canadian, but by birth, and I don't have any particular ethnicity. So I don't know, maybe. I don't know my grandfather, if that helps. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, the new version will be available someday. Like I said, I'm working on it, and now I've announced it a few places, but there's a whole team that's working with me. Since my last video, a lot of people have reached out. In fact, too many have reached out. I'm sorry if you sent a message and I couldn't answer you, but I was very much flooded with messages. And yeah, I started assembling a small team. So some people are helping me working on this. One very impressive thing, if I go back to the menu here, is the menu screen. We have an artist have started helping us, and the work he's been doing is very amazing. One guy is also concentrating on the UI, So you'll be able to see that it's like it's it's very different from what I implemented. I'm very bad with anything coming close to UI. So now we're currently working on small icons for every little sliders and value, so you can get a better understanding. Okay. Yeah, so you can see it's miles different than what I had implemented before and what you've played with. So the stream health seems poor. Don't know why, but yeah, okay. So is it all okay, or does it seem like there is a problem? Oh, yeah, I can try. It's true that it's getting pretty crowded. I don't know if that helped, but okay. So perfect. Eventually, like here you have all the simulation parameters, like the area size, the to make the simulation bigger, the biomass density to have more pellets, things like that. Here you have the starting genes, like we said. As we implement more, there's going to be more there. Eventually, the neural network editor will come into play, and I look forward to see that because it's a feature requested by a lot of people, and it's gonna be very fun to play with. Yeah, here you'll be able to load and save the settings just like you used to in the 1.2 version, but we'll make sure to add saving and importing bibits and things like that. So don't worry about it. And here you'll see the credits where with everyone that's involved. Braxiations, I'm sorry if I butcher your name, is the artist in charge of both the concept art for procedural sprites and the design of the UI art and styles. So that's all on him. He's very talented. It's impressive what he's done so far. Eric is helping me with pretty much standardizing the code and making it more clear to understand. So when people join and works with us, it's going to be far much easier. So that's a very big milestone. He's also been implementing a few things I'll show you when we start the simulation. Siga so far has been consulting us on a few strategic technologies. Yorunokage or Diona has been helping us with moving the simulation to a new framework, which is ECS. Some of you may know about it, but yeah, it's gonna be it's another framework on Unity that present data-oriented programming and seems to be very good to work with a large amount of game objects and entities and things like that move around. So it's going to be very impressive to see how far we can push this and how it can help the Bibit, like having massive simulation even on very poor device like cell phones or mobile. So it's going to be very fun. So Daniela has been concentrating. That's the UI guy primarily, which has been developing this majestic interface. So yeah, I'll reduce the area size a little bit so it's not too crowded. Density like that, so my computer can run it while streaming. like 1500. That's gonna be great. So yeah, let's go. And first thing you'll notice is that there is now a certain distribution across the map. Pellets are not distributed in a purely grid space now. It's a little more realistic, and it's more of like island based. Like there are small patches, and the pattern is randomly generated each time you run the simulation, and it across time it actually moves around. So you'll see patches moving and merging and separating, kind of like continents, but on a smaller scale. Yeah, apples are coming, guys, don't worry. If you think about it, pellets are kind of look like apples already, so that might be enough. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, the patches will move around, albeit very slowly. So you'll see like bibits that were separated for a long time eventually collide together, and this so far this really helped with speciation and things like that. Having two different patches of land that are separated really helps that, and it's been very interesting so far to see how it evolved. Also, with Eric, we decided to implement more mutation at the start. So bibits by default will start with a few connections and all that. We're still balancing it because a lot of people really like having the bibits start off like very poorly and gradually expand and become more complicated and all that. But we'll see how it plays out. It's gonna be fun to play around with that. We might even like give that control to you, so you can decide if you want them to start full super intelligent or not. And yeah, that's a few things that we implemented. You can see already that seems to be one species in the corner here, like producing red pheromones and not using pheromones for anything, but just producing it because they can, and that's nature for you. Across here, there seem to be some blue bibits, very different, producing green pheromones. Oh, like turning left when they sense red pheromones and stuff like that. Okay, I'm gonna do some moderation just to okay. So yeah, try to keep the spam at a minimum. Oh, Brax, I see. So if you want to do some moderation, Brax, go ahead. That might be very, very helpful. I'll try answering some of your questions or reading what you've told me so far. Yeah, the ability to change the background color is coming. Like if you've been on the Reddit, and if you're not, you should. But Brax have posted a few examples. In the end, we might just give you the choice of what, like a few presets, but ultimately, no matter what the color you want to be, then you'll be able to set that. Might even influence the simulation. Would be very interesting if they had the ability to see the background color, and if the background color was green, then all pellets would be invisible or something like that. Might be interesting for evolution, but yeah. Eggs can be eaten now also, I think, or is it not in the stable version yet? We can try it. We just have to wait for an egg to be laid. Yeah, that's the right word. Give me an egg. Yeah, all right, eat. Yeah. Force feeding a bibit, that's the life. All right, come on, lay an egg. Oh, he's too much. He's too hurt. This one also. Will someone just eat and... Ah, okay. Oh yeah, I think it worked. It's not clear. I'm gonna slow the time down. Hold that, find an egg somewhere, and test it out. Come on, one egg. It's always on stream that things don't work out, but yeah. Haha. Ah, come on. Okay, so eggs can't be eaten right now. That's a good thing to know, but it's in the work, don't worry. Yeah, eggs. Okay, other questions. Bibits is a French-Canadian word, basically often used to say bug in French. That's right. A lot of people don't put an E at the end of bibit, but it takes one. Also, don't worry, a lot of you seem to ask that you want the stream to be uploaded, and don't worry, I'll upload an edited version with less of me just staggering and things like that. Yeah, I really liked it when it zoomed out and just see the enormous quantity of bibit that are dying. Yeah, very fun. Lots of meat around. There seemed to be there was a mass extinction or something like that. Geography, not sure what. Add terrain? Well, yes. If you watch my last video, biomes are gonna be like not for 1.3, far off, maybe 1.5. Yeah, 1.3, even with what I've shown, won't include procedural sprites because that will make that would be very hard to implement. But with 1.3, I intend to very much focus on usability and leaving no one behind. A lot of people with laptops have told us that it's been really hard to control the simulation and all that just with a numpad and things like that. So we'll make sure it's usable. Things like a return to center button for people that drives off, things like that. Yeah. It has been confirmed, indeed. So no, the distribution is not generated by Perlin noise. It's purely random dot possession, and they're placed randomly. And when one spot placed a pellet, it will drift a little bit toward. So it's even the spots are like kind of random walking all over and things like that, so that the land masses shift over time. You can see like this big land mass here has kind of bridge here with the bigger one here. So yeah, with a kind of desert between. You can imagine that like in a few months, years, like this is eventually going to be a real desert and things like that. Oh, nice pheromone track right here. Yeah, so yeah, I agree that white is too bright. Like I said, it's gonna be fixed. You're gonna have the choice. Earthquakes that swap area of the map, maybe based on population density. So islands somehow explode due to the geology. See how they cope. Yeah, well, the landmass already moves a little bit, but if you talk about some more drastic event, that will be very cool in the long run. Eventually, when bibits are gonna be far bigger, because right now I feel like if one big event would disrupt things, everyone would die one shot, like a massive die-off. And yeah, that could be cool, but not very fun to watch. So when the simulation is going to be far bigger, like let's say with DOTS technology and ECS, when we move there eventually, then yeah, there's going to be so much space that even if one big event happens in one region of the map, it won't be that bad, and it will create a die-off in that region, but not much more farther. Evolving plants, that's coming too, yeah. Eventually, I figured with biomes, evolving plants are gonna tie in so well. So yeah, evolving plants are primordial. I'm still thinking about how I'm going to implement it and how it's gonna play out, but I really look forward to have this and kind of play with it and have your feedback, because that's very important. This one is creating a major patch of pheromones and all that. Don't know why. It's not even using it, but well. Okay, so next. You should go to sleep, man, if it's 3 a.m. at your place. I'm not worth it. Yeah, saving is coming. Yeah, agreed. It's very important, like having your simulation saved, but also being able to save individual bibits. I really would like something like a website where you can share, or a platform where you can share bibits and things like that. Especially when you'll be able to create your own bibits with their own brain and all that. It's going to be a very great. People are going to be super creative and create like super bibits that can annihilate anything or things like that. I look forward to see what you come up with, or even what I come up with when we can design our own bibits, like their brain and all that. I look forward to it. Temperature is going to be part of biomes. I'm going to repeat it, but biomes are not going to be part of 1.3, not even like the procedural sprites, all that. 1.3 is going to focus on usability and ease of use and interfaces and functionalities and things like that. But as soon as that's off the plate, then 1.4 is going to be about procedural sprites, each bibit having its own sprite based on its genes and things like that. Then for 1.5, yeah, biomes and evolving plants together. 1.5, yes. And to generate biomes, I'll probably use both temperature, humidity, and a few other factors, maybe to generate the landscape and all that. How do you handle collision detection with so many particles? Do you have to check collision between each bibit and every pellet? Is it viable in memory conception? Well, the answer is no. It's not viable, and that's a problem, that this is very unscalable. Oh, I think we've just seen a major collapse. Yeah, all the bits die, but well, it happens. But yeah, it's very inefficient as it is right now, and that's why we're working on the dots implementation, because that's going to be far more efficient, and we'll be able to treat a lot more data with it. So maybe we've run like a few tests, and it was very preliminary AIs, but we've managed to have like 70,000 bibits on screen. So it's very promising, and I look forward to see where we manage to go with this, because I imagine having this, but times 10 in every direction, like no void, and maybe a void, yeah, but at the edge of the world, and pivots won't run into it like every 3 seconds. It's gonna help a lot with stability. Yeah, I look forward to that. The major problem is that Unity is really not made for this kind of simulation. Actually, any game engine will have a hard time with this. I agree. And initially, this was just a fun project for me. I never imagined it would grow to that scale and that community. So it's initially I just wanted to do something fast, and it ended up like taking 4 years of my life. But yeah, it's very inefficient for those kinds of stuff. So that's why, again, I think dots and ECS will help a lot with that. I believe it's gonna be like a complete revolution in that sense. Will there be like herds of herbivore bits? Well, yeah, I'm working on herding neurons, like emotional neurons in general, that influence a lot of behaviors and general kinds of actions, instead of one specific action right now, like just going forward or going in reverse. Oh, by the way, yeah, where we start the simulation is going to be easier. Don't think too much about all the bibits you've just killed. Yeah, the going forward and rotating neuron has been fused into one. So now there's not forward and backward. There's just one accelerate that can be both positive and negative. So that way it's going to be, let's say, easier to control, and there's going to be less of a clutter, since it can evolve both through only one neuron. Will there be one day be continents with water in between that only amphibious bibit can go through? Yeah, eventually, that's the idea with biomes. I don't know yet how water will play out like that, if there's going to be lakes and things like that. I really like the idea, but I don't know how I'm going to manage that. We'll see. Natural disasters almost confirmed. Well, yeah, exactly confirmed. I'm adding that to backlog later. Check, I'm taking a note. Natural disasters. That's probably gonna come with biomes and things like that can influence like the topography of space. Extinction events, yeah. Can you please explain? Whoa, I moved something very fast. Am I very... Yeah, very good point. Go on the subreddit. It's a very great resource, and if you have suggestions or things like that, that's where you should go. We're already a small community, like around 300 people, but people have put a lot of very interesting things forward. So yeah, random meteorites, maybe. Nothing confirmed about that, but yeah, maybe. When will this be available for iOS or Android? Yeah. Well, like I said, right now the performances are very bad. So I believe that first and foremost, we have to work on that to be able to port that to either Chromebooks, iOS, and Android. So ECS will help a lot with that because it's very good for efficient processing in phones and tablets. So yeah, we'll come with that probably. I can't give a date right now on ECS. At first, I was planning in a few years, but since I have people working on it now and helping me with it, it may come faster, but it's a new technology, so we can't really predict how it will go. Okay. Have you heard of the software FramSticks? FramSticks. It is also very complex evolution simulation. No, I have not heard about it. Taking a note again. FramSticks. Wait. I think I've heard it somewhere. I might have seen it, but I'll go check it. Yeah, one thing's also, we don't have any right now, but Rockstars, they're going away. They're not gonna stay. Well, they are, but as an Easter egg, not right now as Gene. There's just too much of them, and it's kind of, I don't like seeing one so much. So it's gonna happen still, but it's gonna be very rare, and it's not gonna be a genetic thing. So one Bibit is gonna be very special once in a while, but that's it. So what else? When is 1.4 coming? I can't give dates right now. 1.3, which is next version, is gonna come, I would like to say in a month, but it's gonna be hard to tell. There's a few, like right now, it's mainly my free time and the generous time of the collaborators, Eric, Giona, Daniel, Brax, and all that helped me with it, and I can't ask them to dedicate any stable amount. They help me as much as they want and they can, but I can't ask something from them. It would be very uncharitable. Are you planning to add something like Bibit's packs, like hunting packs and behaviors? Oh yeah, I started talking about this earlier, but haven't explained much more. Yeah. Eventually, I'd like to add like emotional neurons that are not direct actions, but influence general behavior like that. I don't know if you've seen like a few Boids simulations, but the general algorithm is that every entity try to match its speed and direction as the ones around it. And I'd like to implement a neuron that does just that. Like let's say the neuron is at 0, then it don't do that at all. And let's say the output is at 1 on that emotional packed neuron, then it would just try to match as closely possible the speed and the direction of Bibits around it. So that would be very interesting, I guess. Other things like adrenaline and things like that, I think would be very great. Use terrain to make climates like months and block rain, so it make a desert. I don't know how close I get to that, but yeah, I'll go as far as I can. But I feel like my brain is gonna be the limiting factor. I might get help from climate scientists or things like that, but if there is some that want to help me. But yeah, it would be very interesting to have dynamic shifting land masses and biomes. That one thing I really want to implement is mutual influenceability. That was a mouthful, but having the environments influence the bibits just as much as the bibits can influence the environments. An example would be, let's say bibits were able to produce heat, then if they all got into one spot and started eating up, producing a lot of heat, then it would heat up the environment around them and things like that. Let's say bibits decided to vomit and something like that, just produce waters in front of them, then it would increase the humidity. And if they produce wastes, a lot of waste in one particular space, then that will fertilize that space and things like that, having a lot of mutual influences. That would be very great, and I think is going to be crucial for interesting things to develop. How big is your team? We're 6. I think we have 6 collaborators, 1 artist, like I said, 3 real like devs that are working a lot more on this, which is Eric, which is helping me with the framework behind it and a few logic stuff and cleaning the code and standardizing the code and making it more readable and things like optimization and all that. I have Gianna, which is helping me with all the ECS and dots migration, and Daniel, which is working on the UI. I have Piotr, which is right now is helping me with a few recommendations, all that. And there's I forgot his username, but well, he's a student from Agam, which is his name, student from the US, which is trying to bring this project into research, and that's very great. So yeah, that's the team. I think we're looking for a musician also, which I'd really like, having like procedural and evolutive music with the game. Right now it's like background noise, but yeah, that would be very great. Maybe if they learn to recognize and assign value to each other, they could form packs. That would be another implementation that would be possible, but I feel like it would require a lot more abstraction or definition and would require far bigger networks. The void could highly increase mutations. Well, most of the time they die anyway when they get in the void, so even if demutated wouldn't help a lot. Is there going to be a Steam page? Yeah, eventually. I don't know how early I can get away with creating a Steam page and maybe just letting people wishlist it or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna release it when I'm gonna release it on Steam, but might come later. It will depend a lot of how much people ask me about it and how much people want it. So yeah, we'll see. Bibit nests. Yeah, that's a very good point. I don't know if I'm gonna allow them to dig, like creating holes and such, or if I'm gonna allow them to move stuff around like rocks or branches or trees, but that would be a very interesting thing to see evolve. Will you release the source code if you ever decide to quit? Yes. If I quit, I'm releasing all of this instantly to everyone, I swear. Like, but I'm not gonna quit. So I'm not quitting. I'm staying on with this, and even if I'm not quitting, I want to release it eventually, but I would just like this to be somewhat stable for me as an income, and it's not right now, but eventually it's going to be I hope. Yeah, there's a subreddit already. Go on it. It's very nice, and a lot of people post things around and give me ideas and suggest things and report bugs and share memes. Yeah, this subreddit need more memes. Is meat drop proportionate to the size? Yes. In fact, when they die, they release as much meat as their max energy, their max health. So their max health is directly proportional to their size. So bigger bibbit will leave more meat on the ground. So eventually, if a lot of small bibbits attacks a big bibbit, then it's gonna die and leave a lot of meat on the ground for all of them. Is there a Discord, Slack, or Gitter I could join? Or website I could peruse? I don't know that word, but I have a Discord for my Patreons. I feel like this is a good middle point because I don't want to lose. Well, I want to be able to interact with every one of you. I'm pretty active in the comments and on Reddit, and I'm trying to be on Twitter to interact with everyone. But I'm using Discord more as a personalized, like direct interaction with my Patreons. It's in fact the first reward tier give you access. Maybe $2 is a little much, but I'll look into it. Maybe I'm very far off in the comments. Oh boy, yeah. Okay. Yeah, check the subreddit again. I've seen this. Is a modern community confirmed? No, sadly. Oh, modding community. Oh, would be very cool having people being able to develop their own mods, but I don't even know where to start looking to develop that. Maybe send me an email if you have an idea on how to do this, but I don't have any idea on how to develop a mod support. What is ECS? There's a lot of videos about it online, but it's a new framework pushed by Unity, which is the game dev platform I'm using for this simulation, which instead of having every individual game objects and components having it doing its own things and running its own code, then all entities of the same type, let's say all biblets, are grouped together and processed at the same times on this at the same time on the CPU in parallel and things like that. So it's far much efficient, far better for performance and optimization and all that. So this is going to be very fun. Is there a temperature mechanic, and does these things use GPU calculations? Both? No. Temperature eventually, like I said, with the biomes and all that. GPU, no. Someone is going to be looking into it, like I said, Piotr. But aside from that, no, not at the moment. See you, Arctic Alpaca. Yeah, the rock stars, they're still gonna be there, but just far less frequent. Seasons and hibernation would be cool. I agree. Like maybe some area of the map can have cyclical behaviors. Would be nice. Rockstar rides free the rock. Yeah. Eventually. How about limbs with abilities? well, I have another project I could show you maybe later, but when I'm gonna be further down. Yeah, maybe. Okay, next. So we can maybe just look at some evolution for a while. We seem to have like, oh, there's a lot of bibbits, so I'll reduce the speed a little bit. We seem to have a few species: the reds, the blues, and the white. So their brain seems fairly different also. Like the whites are going forward when it has life, so when it's healthy. I know, yeah. So the more healthy it is, the more it want to go backward. But it's so stimulated by the time it has been alive that it's going forward. Yeah, that's the, because it's been alive for 140 seconds, so that's a long time. Yeah, it wants to rotate when it sees pellet, so it rotates toward pellet, right? I put it there. No, it it rotates very slowly uh, on the other side of pellet, so away from pellets. When it sees bibbits, it wants to eat more. When it sees blue bibbits, it wants to lay more eggs, which the less it wants to do, the more mature it is. And yeah, that's it. So that's what they do. The blue one, so they want to heal less when they see food. So that makes sense, right? When they see meat, the closest the meat is, the less they want to lay. So they don't want to lay eggs when they see meat. And they turn right when they see red bibbits. And same things, the longer it has been around, the more it goes forward. So they may have a common ancestor. Oh, okay, so when they see green pheromones, they are right, they produce red pheromones. Well, okay. We have the red ones also, yes. Those ones, oh, far much simpler. They never rotate, okay, because that synapse is disabled. You can see mine, it's grayed out, so it's not active, but usually it would rotate the more energy it has. It goes forward the longest it has been alive, so same as the other ones, but it has every second that ticks off, so on off every second, and it heals a little less one half of the time, let's say. When it says green bibbits, it wants to have sex with it. So that's great. Yeah. Oh, we have the green ones. I didn't see them earlier. So they produce blue pheromones when they see pellets. So that's great. Okay. But also, oh yeah, important thing. I forgot to mention, there's new neurons types that were added. In fact, one new, which is the differential. When something moves, like let's say the energy ratio, how much energy it has. Oh, no, I need to save this bit. Yeah, eat a little food. Then yeah, when it changes, that's the differential. Well, it's if you've done calculus and all that, you know what the differential is. But yeah, so it tells the function of how much the previous neuron varies. So it's slowly losing energy. So when it's gaining energy, it wants to produce blue pheromones also. Yeah, sorry. And just as the same, time alive makes it go forward. But when it sees, oh, okay, so when it sends blue pheromones, then it turns. but it produces blue pheromones when it sees food, right? So if we put it right now, they will produce like blue pheromones and want to turn. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it sends the pheromones, then it turns, then it sees food, then it turns. Okay. Interesting. Maybe those ones are a little different. Up in the oof. Okay, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna explore the full complexity, but you'll see how like directed graphs and self-organizing graphs are gonna be a far lot better. Oh, someone left a few tracks. Was it this one? Yeah. Same thing as we seen the last time. So when it sees pellets, the closest the pellet is. Oh, Gaussian is like a bell curve. So we want to heal, makes sense. So yeah, you can see that very interesting behaviors can form. Back on the chat then. Are you planning to add something such as poison and venom as hunting and defense techniques? I hadn't thought about it, but I'm not sure how I would implement it first, but yeah, it might be an idea sometime. Poison attacks would play well with modularity and different senses, different body parts and things like that. Who has activated the simulation for the longest time? Oof. I've had people running it for 5,000, yeah, 5,000 simulation hours, I believe, like non-stop, ever since I launched pretty much. Every time I see from time to time just someone send me a picture. Hey, check! I'm now at 700 hours, or oh, I'm at 1100, or things like that. It's just getting crazy. Is there a fight system? Yeah, they can damage each other. Check that. Oh yeah, this one. Ooh, ooh. Oh, it killed itself because it was too weak. Too weak to survive. Let's restart it because sometimes it's fun to just see new behavior and kill off a whole population one shot. Oh, this one's crazy. Let's feed. Oh no, I wanted to feed it, but like this one. Oh, they all died too fast. That might be a thing, like just allowing them to live a little longer. Yeah. Making them easier to select also would be great. Exploring the sea of possibilities, but yeah, oh boy, yeah, they are very complicated from the start. Oh, Fandius, you could be the musician. Well, send me a mail. It would be a pleasure. You make electronic music, then we can talk. Bonjour, Atzelord. Un vrai français, hein? Any special video for 10k subs? Well, I guess this was supposed to be it, like a stream that's kind of cool, right? Huh? Quirky and all that. But I'll upload an edited version and like condensed version with less pauses and empty silences and awkward stares. How can I apply to be the musician? Well, send me a message. Send me a mail. Yeah. So, when did you run? The previous green one was dead. I'm sorry. I killed it. I think it's so cool that E can directly interact and interfere. Well, you can too if you run the simulation. Just saying, you can take them and yeet them. Oh, they don't. They stop when you It would be fun to be able to yeet them out. But yeah. Already exist. What were you referring? Add constant type neuron because they have the use time alive. Yeah, that's one thing we're working on. Having if I can find a bib somewhere. Haha. Hey, still blue ones. But they have a random sorry, constant neuron in input, but we should probably do that. It's more likely to form connections because a lot of byte-wise operation, like having a yes or no or if conditions or things like that, requires a connection with the constant neuron. So it would make a lot of sense to eventually just make more connection with this one by default or something like that. Let's force them to eat more. I can force feed this one forever. Oh yeah, it's getting so fat, but at one point they get full. Like right now you see that that's the max health. It's very small, I agree. Can I zoom? Yeah, I can zoom. Yeah. Okay, so here you see in the corner right here. Yeah. The stats, it has 170 life on 365 max life, and the max life is the same for the energy, so it's full right now. It can't heat anymore. Okay. Do you have a space for the project online for code updates forum? Well, my presence online is on YouTube, obviously, but I post some updates on the Reddits and on my Twitter. That's pretty much it for now. But yeah, on itch.io also, I post dev blogs and things like that. But so far, very few. Could you sell the game in any platform? Because pay for a game monthly just to maybe have an update is not something that everyone will do. Yeah, I agree. Might be worth it, like reworking my structure for now, because it's true that it's bad. I'm not selling a game right now. I'm just putting it out, the default version, and then giving access to my Patreons, like an advanced version where they can control the... No, it's gonna die in the void. An advanced version where they can control more parameters. We saved it. Great. So yeah, but right now it's eventually it's gonna be on Steam, right? If you people want it. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I'm looking into it. Force them to eat one and another by reducing the amount of food. Well, the amount of food will reduce by itself, like over time. Differential, derivative. I don't know how to... Oh no, like you see that this one left big old chunks of pellets right here because it was very big. Let's keep this one with us for now. Yeah, eat your parent, relative or something like that. Okay, just wait till they can ask what's the answer to life, the universe, and unity. Oh, that would be very fun. Oh, I'd love to be able to talk with them. Is that crazy? Yeah. No yeeting? Literally unplayable. Okay, guys, I'm taking a note. Yeeting. Yeeting officially announced. Yeeting is coming into the game, I swear. 1.3, check it. Yeah, that's the derivative function. I'd love to apply, but where do I can find an email? Well, you can find my email on pretty much any comment section. Like the top comment is usually me on my videos, but on my last video, like at one point I just give it out. It's also in the description and in the first comment. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Will you do something? Oh, why does the chat does that? Yeah. Okay. Will you do something to maybe encourage carnivorous behaviors since the amount they are at the moment they are discouraged? It's true. A lot of people, me included, have seen it pop up, and it really depends on the dynamics. One thing is clear is that carnivores are very dependent on the quantity of bibits. So having a bigger simulation will help a lot with that. I need to adjust. I think there's a lot of fine tuning I could do on efficiency and meat and things like that. So yeah, I'll look into it because it's true that right now it happens, but not often enough. It's going to be more like right now it's not easy to see also. Like, this one is still omnivorous, right? It's yeah, they are all oof. The formatting there has gone bad. Whatever. But yeah, for now they're pretty much all omnivorous yet still, so they can eat meat, but they just don't evolve to do so. We've added one thing that wasn't helping carnivorous bibits was that they couldn't differentiate between pellet and plant pellets and meat pellets. So we've added that. That's in now. Like they differentiate pellets. Oh, this one is very simple. It just goes forward the more healthy it is, and when it sends pheromones, it rotates. That's all. Yeah, communication threads, but can breed. Yeah, they can breed. I can see before they develop herd or pack behaviors, they would have to develop communication traits. Well, you see some of them develop communication. That's what the pheromones are for. Oh, that's a big brain, big boy, smart boy. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through it, but that's a beautiful brain structure. Okay, so put them on a globe. Yeah, a closed system is very interesting. I've been wanting to do that for years, but it's so complicated. Oh my god. Like, an example would be, like, if we wanted them to come off one way, to go off one way and come back the other, that's easy. Like Asteroid, Pac-Man, they all do that. I told myself, oh, it's gonna be super easy. I'm gonna do that. I sit down to actually do it, and there's so much like factors. Like, let's say they go off, they're there. Let's say we pause the game. Let's say the okay, that's the side of the screen. That's the limit and the border. If they're right there, the border is right here. If they're right here and on the other side of the border, there's a pellet here. But in fact, it's the other way around completely. Does it see the pellet? How do I manage that? If it's pushing something and the thing it's pushing is crossing first, what happens? And things like that are very hard to manage. And I got too much of my head was starting to hurt, so yeah, I decided to push that back. I think anyway, if we go with biomes and all, that's gonna be far more easier, so we'll see. Yes, put it on Steam. Yes, eventually. I swear to you, it's gonna be on Steam someday. Can't tell you when, but someday, yeah. Setting the PC on fire. Yeah, right now, if you're trying, like, let's say we kill them off, back to the menu, I can show you a version. Like if I go even 2000, let's go 2300. Like it's gonna be so much, oh, so laggy. Ooh, that frame rate. Oh yes. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, that's sweet frame rate. I can't stop. If I go down, oh. Okay, well, you get the idea. It's very inefficient, and I need a new PC. That's true also. But like, I think this one has 7 years. Yeah, it's very old. Oh, that's a beautiful shape, like a donut and with blobs. You know what you should add? A controllable bibit. Then it would be actually a game and not just a simulation. LOL. Well, I agree. But do you want access to like this view, or do you want access to what the bibits has? Like, to be fair, honestly, do you want to just have access to the bibit senses? So the same things as like input neurons and all that. Your screen is all black. You just have a few values on the screen, then you can do a few actions, but bam, you're dead. You don't know why. That would be very fun. Yeah, Yeet is coming into the game, guys. You can, not now, but you'll be able to yeet bibits around. I promise. Really, to get any real herding behavior, you probably need a way for bibit to see the appearance of another one. They can right now, they can see the color of other bibits, but I agree that they should also be able to see size and maybe a few other like aesthetic factors. Add omelette. Yeah, we could add omelette. Like they will be able to eat eggs, so oh, this one is dead slow. Oh yeah, it's very slow. They can't eat egg, right? Okay. But as soon as the bibit spawns, yeah, it kills it. But it can't eat the eggs yet, but it's gonna be. Yeah, you'll be able to yeet them, I swear. Yeeting update. Oh my god, I might actually name it that. Yeeting update. The yeeted update. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, you've earned it. Okay, so did I use TensorFlow? No, I signed all my own algorithms on my own. Oh, that's dense. Very dense fauna. Food all around. That's a beautiful brain. Oh yeah, beautiful. Fencing mechanism, so you can evolve some bibit and then separate into a sort of laboratory. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Yes, this is like very important. Biomes are gonna be great, I agree. I wonder if there are implicit biomes. What I mean is whether Carnier blah 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 gather within a certain place in the map by default. I wonder if it could help design the biomes as well. Well, I'd like the biomes to be not hard-coded, but a result of the dynamics implemented. Someone is, my neighbor is putting nails or something. Yeah, I'd like the dynamics to, so they spin around. The young spin around very fast, and eventually they stop spinning. Why? Okay, so okay, when it has energy, it spins, and it accelerates when the more matter it is, and when it sees food. Okay, okay, that's interesting. Things like that. Oh my god, they always get me. Um, Sorry. Oh my god, yes. Okay, so yeah, I forgot what I was saying about biomes. Sorry. Um, yeah, it's gonna be depending on the mechanics, making meat a more sustainable. Where should I start with AI? For a long time, I wanted to start learning it, but never got the courage. Just seems too complicated. Where, well, my friend, there is one very good resource that I've used, and that's Coursera. There's one course which is called Machine Learning, and it's very introductory, but it's what got me into the neural networks and all that. It's very basic, but if you want basic, then that's the perfect thing for you. Honestly, it's very great. Can you take the world or Taurus? I have addressed that earlier, but yeah, it's very hard. Um, Not the best place to learn, but Code Bullet is pretty hilarious. An application of machine learning. Agreed, it's pretty great. Oh no, the chat goes bad so often. Oh no, I've lost where I was. Okay, I think it said, do you plan to add something like Bibbit packs? I've talked about that a little bit. This was supposed to be a quiet neighborhood. What if there was stone that Smart Baby could mine to get some tools that I'll give like give range for food eating and attacking. It would be very great. It's gonna be hard to like they don't have opposable thumbs or anything like that, so would be hard to manipulate the tools and all that, but we'll see. Yeah, I want to add, like I've said earlier, like rocks and few things like it's spinning. But yeah, rocks and wood and things like that to let them build stuff a little bit or something like that. What about a better sensory function for the bibbits? So a bibbit could sense where food is from sight, smell. They can from sight, but not very much for smell right now. You should be able to genetically engineer your bibbits and input your own values. I agree. Like I said, it's eventually coming in. The brain editor is going to be very great. Okay, blah blah blah. Probably the most interesting behaviors happen with high biomass density. Yeah, well, Beyblade. I think I've seen that somewhere. Beyblade Bibbits. Yeah, that's it. Yes. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, for you little creatures to not go off the screen, simply fix it to just make a simple script with colliders that will change XYZ to, let's say, 0, 0, 0. Not sure I get it, but yes. Not sure I get it, though. In what are you making this? This is in Unity, in C#. I like how we're asking for these complex things that would take time to implement. Yeah, I already have a lot on my plate, and especially my collaborators with are helping a small team that helps me. I think I'm getting very exigent already. Like a lot of features are, I don't know, if you go on Reddit, you can see the Trello with all the planned features and everything that's coming for 1.3, and you'll be able to see that there's already a lot of stuff. I'm very exigent. Yeah, are you using just plain old Unity techniques? If not, you absolutely should look into the compute shader, ECS, job systems, and burst compiler. Yeah, I'm going there. It's going there, but it's just a lot of work to migrate everything there, so yeah. Yeah. You spin me right around. Yeah, that's going into the edited version, I swear. Oh no, they all died off. A small pack here remaining, but don't feel like they will. Oh no, they're all dying. Maybe force feeding it will help. Yeah, eat that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, where was it? To watch evolution, can you not move pivots to more dense area? What? I don't understand. Oh, no, again the chat. What's happening with it? Okay, that's fine. We'll all start somewhere. I'm sure you'll get it quickly. I'd like to start working with AIs as well, but I'll. Are you talking? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Okay, sorry. Can you make water? Like I said, this is probably coming with the biomes. Okay, time for a reset. Stuff are not interesting enough. But yeah, water is coming with the biomes and all that eventually. Oof. Yeah, okay, far better. Let's fold this one. Oh, this one is dumb. It's going backward. But yeah, yeah, water is coming with biomes. I think I said for 1.5, so that's a far way off, but still eventually. So basically, these blue ones are children as soon as they've eaten they're hyper as fuck. Yeah, just spin on themselves. But I've reset that simulation, so they're all dead. Spinning takes energy. Yes, it does. Like this one is spending energy like crazy right now. Yvonne said you think about looping maps. Yeah, I did. It's very hard. I'm scared of libraries, blah blah. Oh, no, that's a discussion between you. Dynamic biomes. Does this mean you'll be looking to have Bibbits modify the terrain? Yes! That's the idea. I think that's very important. Plants have roots that make movement cost more energy, things like that. Yeah, that's the idea. Everything influence everything. Like, this needs to be a real ecosystem. In real life, nature influence life, but then animals and stuff influence nature and the environment and all that. So that's very important. In that case, we won't see this game for the. Okay, I'll check. First thing first, I'll check every message if you are tagging someone. So I don't think you're talking to me when you're talking to somebody else. Right. Add uranium ore so that the first Bibbit race to evolve nuclear weapon becomes the dominant one. Self-annihilation is never fun to watch. Never. Oh, fun fact. Bibbits resemble ancient aquatic arthropods like Anomalocaris. What's Anomalocaris? We'll check this out. Anomalocaris, is that it? Oh yeah. Oh my god, yes, that's super cool. The new Bibbits are actually like the procedural sprites and all that are actually gonna resemble that somewhat closely. Yeah. Okay. Would be very cool. Whoa, no. But yeah, I agree. If you squint hard enough, looks like it. But yeah, the design, especially of the new bib, is going to be pretty similar. Thank you very much. I love my content, my content too. I love your channel. Thanks. A lot of love for once. Well, I've always had a lot of love from all of you, so that's... Perhaps make it so that bibbits without color have a higher color mutation chance. That's the case, I think. Right now, if they are white, the first mutation toward not white is always bigger. That's why these are all like, if you see a colored bibbit, it's more likely to be far more deeply colored than usual. They don't all die after reset. The reset just recycles the pixel and memory addresses into new bibbits and pit. Oh, that's true. Just as we're made of stars and stars dust and things like that, the bibbits are made of bits. And yeah, they just get reincarnated. And yeah, that's very true. Thank you for pointing that out. Do you plan to make the bibbits communicate in other ways than pheromones? I could sound bibbit design, bibbit screams, hisses. Oh, that would be very cool. That's one of the things, but I think right now it would be very hard to implement. Maybe a 3-channel like right now. Some bibbit would just like a test keyword, something like that. I don't know. Would be cool if it could end up with a hierarchy like that of ants. Yeah, I'd like that. Having like different classes of the same race or things like that. If the bibbits can influence nature, then you will have underground burrowing bibbits event. Yeah, that would be very cool. I have touched upon that earlier. Would you add multiple layers stacked onto each other? In that case, you could have flying or gliding bibbits. Well, up in the air is going to be harder, but at least 2 layers, like one surface layer and one underground layer, would be very great, interesting. Yeah, could be very nice. Can't wait till this can run on Linux. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's been this hard. Like Mac, so far it's been like one button, bam, on Mac, it's there. But Linux, so far I've been having a lot of troubles. Someone was supposed to help me with that. I don't remember who, but yeah. Would you consider making a mobile app? Yes, eventually. Like I said, when it runs on ECS, it's going to be far more efficient, because right now it's like death for your computer. So even my computer is pretty old, but it's pretty great. It's pretty it was a good computer back then, so it still should be, don't have too much problem running this. But yeah, can bibbits tell if other bibbits are genetically similar to them? Well, they can technically through color. They can see that a bibbit has the same color as themselves or something like that. So that's, but let's say just by genes, they shouldn't be able to see all the genes of other bibbits. It's just like you can see if your little brother has cancer just by looking at its skin or something. I'm diverting, but yeah. Gotta go. It was a pleasure seeing you. Have you tried literally putting them on a sphere, like making the world literally 3D? That's not too hard with some math and quaternions magic. Yeah, quaternions are weird, man. Weird. I don't get them. But yeah, I could look into it. When you will make biomes, can you put heat into the equation? It's gonna be there, I swear to you. heat is gonna be one of the prime factors, because like it makes sense, right? How will temperature affect bibits? Great question. They will have to produce heat by themselves, so they'll be able to either overeat, yeah, or freeze to death. They don't produce enough heat. It's going to be an interesting to balance, especially since their heat is going to be able to influence the rest of the world. We'll see. I think a lot of things will come up as we develop the functionalities, and things will pop up by themselves. I look forward to work on that, but like I said, it's a long way off. The chat is going all over the place. On a genetic level, creatures will reproduce quickly and have shorter lives tend to evolve quicker. How about that instead? Instead of what? Have you considered the bibit having different genders? I did, but it's very unclear to me. Like, so that reproduction requires one male and female. Furthermore, could there make a unisex? I thought about genes, like they could be not genes, I mean sexes, like having a genetic factor, genes that would differentiate between males and females, and would be either random or some algorithm behind it to decide. But yeah, but then it would need to, I would need to duplicate all their genes so that there is variant for female and male. So that would be complicated. But yeah, even it would be interesting. Oh no, again, the chat moves around by itself. Could you upload the whole version of the stream along with the edited version? Yeah, if you want. I've seen a few things that I need to take out. I think I've opened my browser and there was like sensible information. Don't go looking. It's attacking my private information and rights. Could food production be reduced in the early game when there are less bibits to eat it, so that performance is better? Food production? You mean there being less food? Well, yeah, but they're gonna have a harder time to evolve, because right now, like at the start, there is so much food that they just pretty much have to evolve to go straight, then they will feed themselves for hours. But if we reduce the food content, then it's going to be harder for them to evolve the right parameters to survive and manage to reproduce and all that. So would be, do you plan on adding memory so that if the white bibit sees a red do something, the white bibit will change something based on what the red bibit does? There is kind of memories already. I don't know if there is one of the neuron types is a latch neuron, which is a neuron type that is kind of a set reset. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And it acts as a memory because of its nonlinearity. We can pop up on Desmos. Oh yeah, Desmos. That's so great. So I'm bugging, but yes. The idea would be projector mode. Where is it? Okay. It'll be easier for you to see. But like the neuron function looks like this. So when the input is equal to 0, just stays there. As it goes up, the output stays 0. As soon as the input reaches 1, then the output is going to be set to 1. And then no matter you change the value, it's going to stay to 1. As long as you stay above 0. Then if you get at 0, you reach 0, then bam, it's going back. The output is reset. Let's say no matter the value there, it stays at 0, even between here. And when you reach 1, bam, it goes back. So it's kind of like a memory unit, because you can set a bit to like a memory bit or something like that. It would be interesting to see more complex and nonlinear and hysteresis and things like that. But I'd first like to see some interesting things evolve from this. So yeah, we'll see. You considered posting this to something like Air Programming to look for people who would like to join you in development. I bet there's a lot of peeps to do. Well, there's already a few people that help me. And I like to develop things myself, so I'd like it to be not not have a too big team, because then all my time, and my very limited time for now, is going to be in managing other people to work on this project. So I'd like to keep doing a few things. I'm already managing a little bit, but I'd like to keep working on programming and stuff. So I feel like with 6 people, it's a nice like equilibrium. Once you add biomes, it would be cool if you added different bibits that are different in biomes. Yeah, they're gonna have the fact, like I said, the biome parameter are gonna influence the bibits, so they will adapt differently depending on different biomes. Yeah, that would be cool. But I can distinguish human from other species. I mean, I guess you were talking about like seeing genes. Oh, I must be very far from the chat right now. Bibits and biomes, you could make high. In biomes, you could make high food area one biggers. If you want me to answer your questions or your comments, try to write it so I have a little more context of what you're speaking, if you're speaking to me. Quaternions are easy, man. At first they look weird and hard, but it's really not. Just a bunch of math on 4 different variables. Yeah, there's one video of 3 blues, 1 brown on YouTube that talks about quaternion, and I've continuously pushed it back, but I might just go look into it and all that. So yeah, I'll do that. Thanks. Would you, since they reproduce asexually, why do they have a value called 1 to 6? Well, right. They could reproduce sexually before I implemented their new brain algorithm. Like right now it's neat and it's all over the place, but before that they had a far more regular, like multi-layer neural network, and they could reproduce sexually. But since I changed it, it wasn't there like that anymore. So it's still there because I want to put it back into the game. I think sexual reproduction is very, very important for biodiversity and horizontal gene transfer and things like that. It's very important. It's gonna be added, but it's just like I feel like there's more pressing things right now, so I can't tell you, but it's gonna be included in the next few patches among them. Would you ever consider implementing... Oh no, again. Okay, I'm too far off. What is the most interesting behaviors you have seen, such as when you've seen 2 bibits becoming symbiotics in a way have you seen extremely efficient Bibbit? There's one time I've seen, and that's the thing I tell everyone because it was very fascinating to me. But like Bibbits started off very small, and as soon as it was born, it would spin off, like just yeet somewhere by itself, just spin off super far in a spiral manner until it found food. And as soon as it found food, started spinning super fast on itself, like we've seen earlier, lay like 10 eggs, then die off immediately. And then all the little eggs would hatch by themselves and then do the same thing, explode, and it was like kind of fireworks, like just Bibbits like that. One touch of food, then it was very interesting to see, and it was like something I've never seen before. I had never seen before. So yeah, okay, I'm just gonna scroll down the chat so I'm a little more up to date. The Bibbits should have a range and angle of attack that differs between them. Yeah, right. Would be dependent on their food. Yeah, I've talked with something about like that with Brax sometimes when he was designing the procedural sprites and different types of mouths. So yeah, maybe he can tell you a little bit more about it. Would you consider adding something like Bibbit ticks, mites, fleas, things like parasites? Well, I think they should be possible right now. Maybe it's just like the balance of pressures is not right and something like that. But like, let's say a Bibbit evolved to be very small. Right now, it could grab into a bigger Bibbit and just suck some of its blood and just live off, like not grow too much, just like with time and all that, and just suck a little bit of blood from the Bibbit gradually. That would be possible right now. I've never seen it evolve. So maybe, yeah, like I said, the pressures are not right because they seem to always be evolving. Oh no, this one's not too bad. But they tend to have a pressure toward evolving bigger, getting bigger. Yeah, I've seen that often. Okay, so there is no need for hard-coded gender. Genes can be split on chromosome, and there can exist genes that decide which chromosome would get into the gamete. Yeah, I could look into something more biological. If you want weird shit, look for a category theory. Taking a note right now. Category. I love weird shit. Theory. Make walls at the edge of your food spawning map. Add colliders to the wall. Make a script to detect collisions and transfer the position to the middle. So they would, when they hit the edge of the world, they would just teleport back into the middle. Could work, I guess. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah, 3 blue, 1 brown is very good, very impressive. I'm following him on whoops, my mic. I'm following him on Twitter. I hope he notices me eventually. Are you able to drag the Bibbits around? Yes, I am. You can't yeet them around yet, but soon. Yeeting is confirmed. I just it's gonna be implemented. I want to yeet Bibbits around. I know you want to. You blah blah blah. Just want to say before I go that this project is super inspiring. Oh, thank you. I hope to contribute when I'm broke. Hey, don't worry about it, man. It's already incredible that some people are willing to support me working on this. So, it's very like humbling and all that. So if you can't afford it, then don't do it. I hope. For biomes, will they change over time? Yeah. like I've said, I want them to not be hard coded. Like Minecraft, let's say, as okay, this area that I generate is a desert. This area next to it is a jungle. I would far much prefer having like instead fields, vector fields that dictates both, let's say, like we have a heat map of all the terrain, then humidity map of all the terrain, and then biomes developed by themselves according to the particular environment and all that. And one thing I really want to add in is that the Bibbits will eventually be able to influence themselves these fields and things like that. So yeah, evolving biomes. Okay, so where was I? Ever thought about adding like a rare or energy expensive ability to eat from a longer distance? Eat from a longer distance. Like they would be telepathic or something? That's what you want? Telepathic Bibbits? Could be cool. Do bigger Bibbits move faster because of their size? No, because they're more massive, and more mass means you need more force to move around. But they can evolve to be faster no matter what. Their speed ratio, it means they consume more energy, but time for another reset. I just like to do it sometimes. Keeps this stuff more interesting when at the stage when there's more Bibbits around. But yeah, they can evolve. Like yeah, like this one use more energy to move, but it can move faster and things like that. Day and night cycle. Yeah, I thought about it, but I like light doesn't have any purpose right now. But eventually, with biomes, light could be a great one. Could you implement a special pheromones that rotting meat creates? My main concern right now is having like every single meat pellet produce pheromones. I feel like that would be very expensive, but they can see it, which is like, yeah. Will the color of a Bibbit give it camouflage or effect how much light they absorb? I would like Bibbits to not have like to not gain energy or not enough energy from the sun. How about making the Bibbits modular instead of just a single sprite that they could evolve their own looks and body structures? Oh my friend, that's what I call procedural sprites. And yeah, it's coming. That's going to be 1.4 update actually, where they're all going to have custom sprites according to their genes and all that. So they all look different depending on genetics. Yeah. Okay, so what if you add a biome painter? Like yeah, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely. If like I said, there's vector fields and all that, then the Bibbits will be able to influence vector fields, but you'll be able to just say, hey, this area is up now, and you'll be able to see all the terrain evolve. And yeah, so something like that. Yeah, definitely. With 1.3, which is this version, there's going to be the painter tool, so you'll be able to create pellets and create Bibbits and things like that. So yeah, can I somehow build a full version of game without paying every month? As of now, not really. I only have it on Patreon because it's, at first I figured just like people supporting me while I technically what you find on itch.io is the full game. It's just like the I give like more advanced features to my patrons. But yeah, it's gonna be on Steam eventually, because it's true that I need to reach, like, not a lot of people can either afford or want to like have a regular regular payments and all that. So yeah, Steam is gonna be the place for you. No. Okay, here I was. There was a recommendation on your channel about making the neural net have tiered phases if a neuron was fired too much. This would make net... Oh, tired. Oh, yeah, tiered. Okay, yeah. Tired. Yeah. Like a neuron couldn't fire too much. But yeah, could be interesting to look into. I'll take a note. Like more realistic neurons and things like that. Yeah, it might be very interesting. Well, maybe I'm gonna skip some. Egg eating has been confirmed for 1.3. Yes, it is. Oh, okay, here I was. Should I send a link to the diagram showing off the procedural sprites? Yeah, sure. Just having like a few examples. In fact, you can, Brax, you can post it on Reddit maybe. Just giving a few more incentive to join there. Join the Reddit, the subreddit, guys. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. It's where I make announcements and things like that. Also follow me on Twitter. Yeah. How about enabling the plants to produce pheromones on their own? Yeah, that was one of my plans for evolving plants. In fact, I want to give them neurons and brains where, albeit they're gonna have less inputs and outputs, but I want to give them the ability to evolve structures like that. Are there many carnivores? When I tried to make a summation like this, carnivores weren't good. Well, they are rare. I think there's too much, like, there's not enough incentives to be a carnivore. You usually see it more like farther in the simulation when bibits when there's more bibits and less pellets. But yeah, there's not enough incentive right as of now, so we need to... Oh, this one is blowing so much food. Oh my god, I have trouble keeping up. Okay. It should be like $20 to $40 on Steam. I feel like that would be a lot expensive. I don't know. Like $20 to $40? Like I would feel bad like asking for $20. I feel already bad asking for any amounts of money, so I don't know. Non-spiking neurons only. There is spiking neurons, which is differential neurons. Have you thought about adding a bottleneck function, like a button that randomly kills 90% of bibits? It would definitely lead to interesting results when the population recovers. Yeah, could be interesting. Like a kill many button. Good idea. Just would be fun to play around with. Great ideas coming out of it. Also, if you want to make suggestions, make sure to do them on the subreddit so I can see them easily and things like that. Steam Watcher could work as a platform for Bibit gene sharing. Oh, that's right. That's true. Never thought about it. But yeah, it could be very great. Could someone like me help you in your project? I have some ideas on how to implement Pac-Man geometry and taxonomy. I already have a small team of collaborators. Send me a mail and I'll check it. I'm pretty comfortable with the size right now, but I don't want to have too many peoples on the team, and as it's going to be harder to manage and things like that, and I won't be able to work on the code with my remaining time. But yeah, send me a mail if your credentials are good enough, then sure. How long has this project taken to make? I've been working on this like for a lot of time. I think it's nearly 5 years now, but it's like very much on and off. Like I would work on it for a few weeks in my spare time, then not work on it at all, and then then not touch it for like a few months, then work, add one thing in it, then not touch it for another 4 months and things like that. But yeah, so I'm not sure. I went to many iterations. At first it was all hard coded and added like neural networks afterward and things like that. So it would be very hard for me to tell you how much time in total would take to make from 0 to this. But yeah. Any limits to the gene code of 1-bit? Like a limit for neurons? No limits. Well, they have predefined genes. They can't evolve new genes out of nowhere that do nothing. But technically their brain, there's like an impact. 2 big brains cost a lot to run and generate. Like a bit growing up would need more energy if they have a very massive brain. But aside from that, they don't have any maximum art values. Would you? Oh no, I hate it when. I'm losing. Okay, I read that earlier. I did it. I joined the Patreon egg tier. Congratulations. I've been won over. It might be selfish, but I want to learn from you as well to project. This is that fair. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Taharka Okai. I don't know if I pronounced that well, but thank you very much for joining. I hope to put out more technical content once in a while. I just don't have much time right now. But as my Patreon is growing, it's getting more and more interesting to eventually like take some time of work and things like that. It would be very interesting to be able to maybe do half and half. Right now I'm working like 30 plus hours per week, so it's hard putting time into this and keeping a social life. If maybe I was more 20 hours a week or something like that, I could work far more on this, and eventually that would be possible. Increase the speed of your bibits and remove a lot of the food. That should be fun. Yeah, that. Okay, guys, I agree. Like this is possible with the sliding parameters and like the advanced version that lets you control parameters, and I agree that everyone should have access to it. I don't know. Well, yeah, I feel it's cheap, like to just say, oh well, support me on Patreon if you want that, and I agree that I feel cheap saying that. So I'll look into what other kind of things, maybe some more regular things like giving access to the versions earlier to my patrons or something like that, instead of just like saying, hey, you have better stuff. I don't know. I'll look into it because it's right. I feel uncertain about it. Some bibits should have a torn effect. Yeah, the defense gene it's gonna be visible when we have procedural sprites, obviously. But what if bibit could evolve to have different sized body segments, like increasing the mouth while a little faster eating? A large torso would give them more health, but they are slower. That's the idea with procedural sprites. They look different, but they also have more dependence between genes and all that. and the game. I can imagine the memes that will be made. Oh, I look forward to it too. If you have procedural sprites, evolving biomes, and Bibbits can become plants, I would think $20 is valid. Bibbits can become plants. That could be cool, but yeah, $20 might be okay. Maybe more like 15 or 20. I don't know, but I'll check with the market and all that. What's oh, Bibbits, where are you guys? Following you now. Oh no, it's dying. Okay, so yeah, could Bibbit evolve to each other's egg in place of meat? Right now they can't eat eggs, but we want to put that for 1.3, so yes. Extinction events would be cool. Maybe you could have some global warming, cooling, so only the Bibbits that can survive evolve to the new environment. Yeah, like very slow moving things. Oh, thanks Brax for the Reddit link. Jackson Giroux. Perhaps a random hypermutation with a low chance of occurrence that mutates maybe 10 genes to mix up the dominant species. Well, yeah. Yeah, just random mutations event, that would be a good idea. Spitting. Okay. Anton, you have my interest. Idea. Spitting. The Bibbits spit with drops of toxins, webs, slimes, whatever. This will open possibility to new ways of hunt and symbiotic interactions. Example, feeding friends with slime. Yeah, I thought about like, well, at first my idea was with pheromones. Like each pheromones could have other influences. Yeah, get full. Like each, what was I saying? Each pheromones would have other influences. Like green pheromones would promote. Oh no, it was killed. Oh, come on. You killed your father. That's very rude. But yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, pheromones would have other influences, like green pheromones would influence pellet growth, red pheromones would do something, blue pheromones would slow Bibbits down. Other things like that would be maybe more interesting. Toxic launching Bibbits sounds scary. I agree, but would be very interesting. If I design some sprites and dump them on the sub, would you like that? I could try making some mild sprites. We already have mild sprites. In fact, I'm so lucky to have Brax on my team, which is like the artist and the moderator in the comment section right now. He's doing some very incredible stuff. Of course, if you have anything, you've done anything and you want to share it with us on the subreddit or something like that, be very open to do it. But yeah, we already like have a main artist, and maybe having two artists would be kind of contradictory and things like that. Blah blah blah. You should make them able to have friends. I believe they do already. Like, aren't we all friends in the end? It would be interesting to have vivid neuron change over ages. Like certain neurons would alter the connection of other neurons. Yeah, it would be very complicated, but there is somewhat this already. Like they have access to their maturity genes, so they're not those ones, but one I showed earlier were 9. What? Those I've shown earlier used their maturity input to have different behaviors depending on their age. Another idea, psychedelics substance that change the weights in the neural network for some time. Example, plus 0.25 to all weights until the toxin is fully purged. Yeah, like environmental factors, and pheromones could do that also. Like just psychedelic substances would be would be very funny. Like maybe not in their environment by default, but like you could, yeah. Great idea. I don't know. It's not. I don't promise anything with that, but just I like the idea. Okay, so where was I? Viruses, not yet, but a lot of people are asking for it, like sickness and diseases, things like that. Yeah, it would be very interesting. I'd pay 60 on Steam. Oh my god. I'd always accept like free money, but I don't think it would be viable to ask that much. If this game runs well and is future rich as you're planning, I would pay up to $25 happily. Sorry if that's too little, but I'm broke. No, like even 20 might be like I'm not gonna like spend ask for $60 or something like that. Just I think 20 seems like if there's enough features and things like that, I think 20 would make sense. Maybe the more I think about it, but yeah, it would be neat if Bibbits or their eggs could evolve spikes or armor. That's gonna come with procedural sprites. 1.4, check it. Have you thought of ways to increase cooperation between Bibbits? Seems like with the current input-output of each Bibbit, it's hard to get them to communicate in a meaningful way. Well, I've seen some things evolve, like producing pheromones, to influence behaviors and all that. I've seen interesting stuff happen already, like this one. Bam! When it starts, when it sees new red pheromones, it starts turning. When it sends green pheromones, like right now, right here, it wants to grow bigger and faster. So that's kind of there. Can I ask approximate time of release of this past release? Sorry if you said somewhere in the stream, but I'm late and I don't have many time to watch 2 hours of this. Absolutely. I'd like to have this released by maybe in a month. It's hard to say because it depends a lot of many factors, and I'm not bound to any like release date like many big studios are in. I don't have a studio. It's just me by myself and the people that are helping me. But yeah, we're working on it as we advance, and I'd like it to be out in less than a month. Maybe a month would make sense. Time goes so fast, but yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. We'll see. But yeah, 1 month should be around it. When the Bibbits die, they should not drop meat, but body parts like the game Insatia. I don't know about Insatia. I'll check that out. Might interesting. Insatia. Noted. Why? Why? I'm seeing a load of complex suggestions that discourage emergent complexity. Yeah, great worlds arise from simple rules. I agree. I always prefer to implement basic things that can evolve in specific things. It's a balance, really, like in having specific features like hard-coded or making things that would allow such features to develop by themselves, I think is usually better. Yeah. Because like right now we can surprise as that sorry like that it can surprise you and things like that, develop things you didn't think of before when implementing it. Okay, hue-based pheromones, so for instance red and blue pheromones produced at the same time as purple, would make sense. actually, and would give more control over. Yeah, they could maybe produce more fine. Yeah, I like that. Parasites, I've talked about it, but kind of they can already do it. It's just a matter of balancing, giving them more opportunities and all that. Oh, I'm already up the time, so I'll finish up as a few questions and I'll head off. I think we discussed a lot, so I'll upload that stream to the YouTube page, both an unedited version and an edited version. I'm just gonna finish quick a few comments. $10 as a starting price, $9 per module or DLC. I don't know anything about pricing though. Yeah, I don't want. I'm not sure I want to manage DLCs and all that. I'm just gonna. Whoa, this one's. Where is it? Oh no, it's fast. Okay, I think we saved it. Yeah, great. Okay, Bibit saved. But yeah, I don't want to manage DLCs, and I don't like that trend. It's just gonna be updates, right? Really. Yeah. If you bought the game, you should have access to all the future updates. And yes, at some point it needs more income, but whatever. We'll see then. What about a signal that triggers an input on other bibits in a radius? That's the pheromones. That's exactly what the pheromones do. Kind of. On the topic of biomes, bushes, and heat, they should be wildfires. Why bring Australia into all this, really? Hoping for a Linux release. Yeah, I'm hoping for a Linux release. In fact, there's going to be a Linux release with 1.3, I promise you. Promise. It's going to be there. Okay, that blah blah blah. No, that you were talking someone else. Have seasons in winter. Yeah, cyclical variations in a few of the environmental fields would make a lot of sense. Sorry, but yeah. All these plans, features, and suggestions are awesome, but I'll be honest, Bibits right now are pretty dumb, and I'm yet to see truly interesting stuff happening. Yeah, I agree. That's so far ahead. Well, you should talk to some of the people that have been running the simulation for like hundreds of hours. When the bibits reach a stable equilibrium and keep getting better and better, it's pretty impressive what they start doing. Like just up on the subreddit, and you're gonna see some interesting behaviors. But I agree that right now there's not a lot of incentives to get smart. But you have to run the simulation for a lot longer if you want to see like more lifelike behaviors. Right now, it's just because I'm running it by small bits, so it's not much. There's not much interesting stuff happening, but some people have told me that they saw very interesting behaviors. Email him on, yeah, that's my email. How about bibits that move like snails, leaving a trail of slime? Oh, slime trails would be interesting. Yeah. Oh no, don't have time to watch the stream. Still wanted to tell you that I love your videos. Thank you. Pheromone Blue, if I'm correct, do so. Oh no, okay, blah blah blah. I'm a music producer. If you need anything sound related, I'd be glad to try and help you for free. Yeah, some guy already told me about it. Send me a mail. I'll check it out, check your samples and things like that. Always looking for talents. Can you make two bibits have baby and baby be better than parents? That's not possible as of yet, but it's gonna be. Yeah, eventually sexual reproduction is coming back. I think one way to get mothers to protect or at least not eat their own eggs would be to have the eggs produce pheromones themselves that the mother are genetically similar. I think one great start would be them being able to see eggs. I think they don't see eggs right now. Or yeah, it's egg or meat. Yeah, they can see eggs right now. Sexual reproduction is coming later. Yeah. I would say no DLCs, just increase price over time maybe. Maybe that would be an option. Yeah, and the people that bought it earlier just have access to all the updates, and yeah, it would make sense. Yeah, I like the idea. Good. Thank you, Titan Lord of Gaming. That's I like this. Oh, why do there need to be some more balancing with this update? It's like Vivids are dying too fast, but well. Another restart. One last restart before the but yeah. Greeting from Germany. Hey, I surprisingly have. Hey, Jamal. Jamal. I don't know, but you're one of my first Patreons. I remember you. Thank you a lot for your support. I could have acoustic instrument too. I know a few dudes would probably be willing to record guitar riffs. Oh my god. Have you seen my first video, like full skillic rock? That could be a great source of inspiration. But hey, it's me. I got a question. James Luther. Can I desire the apples? This sign. PSM, I'm the one who made pixelated pixel PCs. What? If doesn't happen already, maybe neurons should be able to be deleted by mutation. That's already possible. They can delete neurons and structures and all that. It has a lot of impact, so it can get pretty crowded and all that. But yeah, I thought there was only a few kinds of pheromones that exist, right? As of now, right now, yeah, there's 3 kinds of pheromones: the red, the greens, and the blues. I could be great that babies could make clans. Oof, yeah. Decrease or remove the hello. Decrease or remove the limitation of big brains to motivate. Yeah, I should give access to that parameter, right? This one is interesting. Oh, so it's only going forward when it sees food. Yeah. Oh no, you were interesting. How about adding viruses? How many living bibits can the game handle without issues? Depends really much. In fact, it's much more about the numbers of pellets and bibits, because it's something with their vision, which is kind of problematic and things like that. Yeah. I keep forgetting my name is Titan Lord of Gaming in YouTube and not Titan Lord of Pizza. It's weirding me out. I can call you Titan Lord of Pizza if you want. Yeah, Titan Lord of Pizza. Don't worry about it. I'll remember your name. What's your accent? Austrian, German, something else? I can't quite put my finger on it. You could call it like the the French Canadian accent. I don't know. It's a mix of a lot of things, because I've learned English like watching people on the internet, so might be a mix of a lot of things. Yeah. What's your plan on 1.4? 1.4 is gonna be procedural sprites. I think Brax have uploaded a few examples, so you can add there on the subreddit. Can you save the simulation state? Not as of now, but you'll be able to for the release. That's like a priority, because everyone is asking for this, and I agree that it would be very cool to be able to share Bibit files and all that. Have you considered making the pheromones also have a range of colors through the entire RGB spectrum? I've considered it, but not yet. So I'm getting near. Your first pronunciation was correct. It's the French Jean, not the English one. Okay, so Jean, well, I'll remember that. Hey, what about my flexible Bibit idea? Oh, that's you from the subreddit. Yeah. It would be it would be very difficult to implement, but eventually maybe. Yeah. How about poop? Yeah. Poop would be interesting. Oh no, it's gonna die. Yeah, eat all. I'm gonna save you. But yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna Bibbit that can dig, yeah, eventually. That was my plan. I believe a way to encourage intelligence to reduce the energy of the brain uses. Yeah, that should be a parameter people can change. Agree. Funny Duck, hey, you've been one of my first followers on YouTube. I remember you. Please answer. How would one learn how to code something like this? Honestly, so all my my life, I've just if you want to do something, just start doing it and figure out as you go. Google stuff up. I don't think I've had a course in anything. I had an idea. I wanted to do something cool, and eventually just started coding it without knowing what I was doing, and yeah, ended up with something like that. Through Googling, you can learn so much. It's impressive. Yeah, but I would I would really love making like design an online course about this kind of stuff and things like that. It would be interesting for the future. Are you French? You have an accent, I think. Yeah, I know. I'm French Canadian, so I think it's Québécois. It's called. Like, if you could swap a bit with people, could you do PvP battles? It would be fun. Oh, file extension would be bb.bb8. Also, you pronounce my name just fine. Taharka Okai. But yeah, .bb8, that's great. bb8. Yeah, noted. Very great idea. I love the pun. Oh my god, I've lost control of the... Again, I want to head out, but it's very interesting, like interacting with you and all that. So I'm gonna stay maybe like 30 more minutes, as long as you stay around. What about another type of creature that can interact with the Bibbit but no to reproduce with them? I would like the Bibbits to do that themselves. I would love the Bibbits to just in the end be something like animals, just a word that means any living thing that can evolve in many things that can't reproduce with themselves. That would be cool. Making evolutionary sim is actually very fun and not too hard to once you know how to code. I agree. You should just start doing it. It's just start with your idea and all that, and if you ask about more learning how to code at first, then there's a lot of tutorials and online and things like that, so that might be a good place to start. What did you use to make the simulation? I'm programming on Unity in C#. Bonjour de la France. Hey, salut. I think it would be cool to see another from Titan Lord of Pizza. I think it would be cool to see an online course for stuff like this. Yeah, I'd love to do this, but right now it's the problem is the time. It's always time. Oh my god, especially with again 40 hours a week, it's hard to put in time. Thank you, and yes, I have been following this since almost the beginning. Yes, I know, Funny Duck. I remember you. I remember my fans. Well, your icon is very your profile picture is very remarkable and different, so that might be something why I remember it. Is there a good language to choose to start learning for one of these? Well, if you plan on working on Unity, then if you plan on working on Unity, then it might be good to to learn C# because it's quite easy, it's user friendly, and the functions are simple. Have you considered using different types of neural networks? Yes, at first this was using classical, like just like you say, classical neural networks. But then I changed over because I figured this would allow for much more interesting behaviors and would be far less costly to run because they can evolve their own structures and all that. So yeah, eventually I think RT-Neat and the what we're going toward is the best one for this kind of approach. But yeah, at first it was a classical feed-forward neural network. Salut! Oh, Tarka, you speak French. Yeah, some people talk French, but in my country, well, in Quebec, we have to learn English. We don't have a choice. It's part of the school curriculum, and pretty much all through the years. And like in my engineering degree, it was in the university, it was pretty much all English and stuff like that. So we don't have the choice, but we're lucky in that sense that we learn at least a few languages. There's some places that don't learn any other. Okay. Beyblades, yeah. Oh, Kexmania. I remember you also because of your avatar, your profile picture. Kexmania. Spiny Bibbit. Whatever could it mean? Why do Bibbits spin? Because evolution is random, and like this one, this one spins because it sees food. Yeah, so it sees pellet and it starts spinning. Is that it? No, it also spins when it senses green pheromones. So like that one, it sees. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. They can evolve any connection, so if some of them can evolve. Oh, that was a massive die-off. Some of them can evolve to just turn, but they will die. Another restart. Sometimes it takes some time, and I agree that there should be a few different. There's a lot of fine-tuning to do before releasing. This one is interesting. Do you work as a developer, or is this just your hobby? No, but well, I've done some coding for my work, but I'm a system/electrical engineer by profession. So I don't do a lot of programming. I do a little bit, but I've learned pretty much for this project. Yeah. What is the simulation of the bottleneck of the simulation right now? The brains of the Bibbit? Not so much. Right now it's their vision system, because every time one Bibbit checks to see around it, it checks every single pellets in the world. Sorry. So it's very cost intensive. We're working on splitting it into chunks and partitions, so it's more cost effective. But yeah, what if Bibbit could have thorns that would hurt them? Then they would kill themselves. That would be sad. Here's how to make the world loop around. Make everything automatically teleport to the other side and use a new distance function to make the Bibbit not confuse. If you want, I can email to help. Yeah, I've looked into that, but even that works into so many weird cases in the boundaries conditions. Like, let's say a Bibbit is looking through the veil. Does it see at the other side around? And if yes, yeah, I know the function could be rewritten, but still it feels complicated. And the edge scenario where one Bibbit would push something across the edge, then there would be discontinuities. I know it's minor, but I just don't like the idea of it not being perfect, if that makes sense. Why is not answering my question? Which one, Fendius? Please answer. Okay, I found it. I know that this question has viruses in it, but please hear me out. How about adding special viruses that implement themselves into the DNA of Bibbits? It would be very interesting, but as of now, the genes are not modular enough, in the sense that they are dependent, they are fixed. So there's not like a leeway to insert themselves in, but would be interesting at certain point. Well, down the comments again. I had a commented 1 month ago when you hit 1K subscribers. Now you have 10K. Amazing. Yeah, I agree. Like the holidays were crazy for my growth. It died down a lot right now, but back then I was getting like 300 or 200 subscribers per day, which is crazy. Now I'm back down to like 10, but it's still very impressive. Like to have grown so much in so few time. What if they can grow horns? That when you will make bushes, they should grow, die, and reproduce, so they change locations. I agree. That's what I meant with evolving plants. Right now, it's kind of like pellets. It's fruits laying everywhere, but eventually, I'm gonna have like real plants grow those fruits on there. Yeah. What if they can grow horns, but the moving it costs more energy, but in turn they have more protection? Yeah, the defense genes would, yeah, I agree, would need downsides. Yeah. That's cool. Could use any support on developing. Well, I'm having support. Like I said, I have a few teams a small team working with me now. So that's very great, and I'm very thankful for that, because obviously I have people helping me on my project, which is like crazy already. But yeah, I'm trying to keep the team not too big. So if you want to help, send me an email and I'll check your credentials and all that. But I would need a very remarkable curriculum to broaden the team right now. Oh man, I get a feel. I get that feel of just shoving the bibbit into food. Yeah, just like eat up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure they like the ducks. They must like it, right? What if the world was a 21-old Taurus? Yeah. What if? Tell me. What if? All the genes carry down to their children, where they're pretty much just copied over with small mutations. Like you see, all that are the genes, and they pretty much just like boop, copy and paste, but with a few mutation chances. So every time it's copied, there's a small chance it get modified. What's your opinion about My Hero Academia? I've watched it. I've tried watching it. I've been told that the it gets very crazy, but I've cut down on animes and series in general a lot since I've like for a few years now, since I'm focusing on more productive enterprises and things, like working on this being one main one. What if you did chunks like Minecraft for the vision? The vision would go weird things at chunks borders though. Well, yeah, you could check just like a few chunks around the Bibbit. Consider make the Bibbits do metamorphose. Having them evolve, like shift through their life, would be very great. Van Klein bottle. Plain bottle is a 2D surface and 3. No, it's a 3D surface that it's a 3D volume that closes in itself in 4D, right? Yeah. What's your email? Email is the Bibbits, yeah. That would fix the vision chunk border weirdness. I agree also. In the future, maybe you could add a special mode where you can experiment with a colony of Earth-social. What Earth-social? Oh, Earth-social is like U-social. It's like ants, right? Yeah. This game is the proof that the Earth is flat. Yeah. Yes. Can you speed up a little? But yeah, but I've put a pretty big world, so it gets pretty. The frame rates get low. Gets low. Doesn't help if I'm like fully zoomed out, but yeah. Yeah, here it is. I agree, it's a little interesting. Whoop, whoop. Some flips around here. Woo, woo, woo. That's interesting behavior for you. Do you like that? Do you like that? That's interesting behavior, right? They like skip around and things like that. We're gonna follow this one. Oh, it searched for food and choop choop. Okay. Oh, okay, didn't know about your team. That's awesome. How big is team right now? We're about, I think, if I count myself, we're 7. Yeah. I'm a software developer. I really like the idea, but don't want to clone the idea. Then, yeah, of course, send me an email. Like I said, if you have a good curriculum, then help is always appreciated. It's always great to have some people to helping. But yeah, how hard is it to make an AI? Depends on how complicated it is. Instead of checking every palette, you could try putting an invisible circle. But well, yeah, I kind of do that, but it's just optimized. I use overlap circle on Unity, which does that, but it still checks every single palette. Like to check just that that collide, yeah. Yeah, right. If it enters, then I add it to an array and things like that. Yeah, would make sense. I agree. Could be great. Okay. What is the next update about? So the 1.3, like I said, is going to be fully about usability, features, functionalities, and ease of use. So, okay, I'm gonna kill. They're interesting, but I'm gonna kill all of them to show you back to the menu. Like if you've played around, you'll see that this is very different. We've had like Brax, which is our artist, and Daniel, which is helping us work on those. That new UI is very great. I'm very lucky to have people like that to help me, and it's far more like just in general better looking, not to say the least. And yeah, like that, I think it's far more better. And just add more functionalities to the screen in general, like having a home button and things like that would really help. Yeah, so that's what the 1.3 is about, making it more easy for everyone to use the simulation, because right now it's not supported on Linux. People with a laptop have a very hard time playing with it. Things like that that would make that will make everyone have more interface with the simulation, like a paint tool to draw palettes and create pheromones by yourself to test things like that, so that you can have more interactability. Yeah, that's 1.3. That's what 1.3 is about. You should add an option where it always follows a Bibbit when it dies a new one. Yeah, that's one of the things that's coming for 1.3. Sorry for asking again, but it didn't answer the first time. In the future, about adding a special mode where you can experiment with colony of Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to answer that. Um, yeah. I just asked what usocial means, and I moved on after that. So yeah, I would like them to be able to just evolve that on their own, no matter what, that being included in the main simulation. But they would have to evolve that, or you would have to create that yourself with bibits you create. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, it would be very cool. What if the bivets could push rocks so they could create shelters? Yeah, that's also to be protected from the eat or murder other bivets by yeeting them. Yeah. Bivets yeeting rocks around would be very fun. All that, like rocks and twigs and all that, are probably going to be coming with the biomes update. Yeah, it would make sense, right? How big can they get? Well, as big as the environment can support. So technically infinite, if you have an infinite simulation. Be sure, a lot of you have suggestions, so be sure to join the subreddit if you haven't already, because that's where I keep track of every suggestions and all that. And also there's memes there, which is very great, and a lot of people are sharing their art and things like that, so it's very interesting. Yeah, meat growth, I know. I tried it, but it doesn't work very well, especially if you disable meat rotting. Have you ever thought about making this but in 3D? Yes, but it's too complicated and it like adds like so many complications and all that, so don't want to go there. What if there was some oh, I missed a few. Well, again, what about making vision by ray tracking with max range, ball length, and angle? Yeah, I've looked at that first, but like I guess it would take a lot more neurons to produce the same kind of behaviors. I don't like that much the present behavior, so there's still that. Yeah, but yeah, eventually their vision system is going to be reworked someday. That's that. Okay, it's going to be reworked someday, because yeah, I don't like it how it is right now. What it was, there was some meters of for average genes, like average speed, average size, etc. Yeah, I agree. Just having diagrams and statistics would be very great. I want to do that eventually. I don't know when I'll put that in. Maybe if someone wants to work just on that, that would be great, like as a separate module. I put turtle in a sock today. It kept him warm for transport. Could you do temperatures in bibits? Yeah, it's coming. Temperature is going to be implemented with the biomes update, with biomes being 1.5. So I think, I don't take everything I say as art cache. I don't want to create a new No Man's Sky or something like that. I've seen that I've drifted, yeah. So yeah, but just a lot of things would be nice. I don't know when or how fast I'll implement everything. But yeah, definitely biomes. Water, yes. Minecraft is distracting me. How are you fellow chat members doing? I think they're all doing great. Can you answer me? Yeah? Oh, you've asked something. Well, again, what about making vision? Oh, I've answered you. That's all right. Can you toggle what values food and eating others bibit gives out? That would be great. Yeah. Like the efficiency caps, editing that would be a great thing. Where are you from? I'm from Quebec, so the French part of Canada. So that's why I have a broken accent and all that. Yeah. Are you adding mod support? I'd like to. I don't know how. Maybe eventually. I don't know. Big brain chat here. Yeah. Mod support would be great. Yeah, but I just don't know. I don't know how to do that. Eventually, maybe. Do you fear that the game will eventually get too demanding as the features pile up? Well, yeah, that's a very like real phenomenon, which is called the feature creep. Just like you keep adding new things and new ideas, and yeah. But I'd like to work on this for a very long time, so I don't know. I feel like I feel like through a long time I can add in a lot of stuff, and I would love to see a lot of stuff added. Might fear of how well I managed to live from this, but I keep I intend on keep working on this for a very long time. Pretty sure there is so many possible optimization that you can add a lot more than what is. I agree. There's so much more that can be done. I'm a very terrible at programming. I'm not a good programmer. I have creative ideas. I'm pretty good to figure out how to do stuff from Googling, but I'm very bad at making like good good code and optimized code. Have you thought about using 10% energy rule? In nature, only 10% of energy is passed between predation levels. Plants only absorb 10% of energy from sunlight, herbivores 10% from plants. No, I hadn't thought about that. There's some tweaking that could be done across like different efficiency ratios and all that. I agree. Yeah, there should be more thought put into that. I figure that like if the 10% is like there is, if you talk about biomass, then yeah, that's kind of there. But if you think about efficiency, then no. If we have temperature, could we technically get extremophiles, bibit, that live in very high temperature? Like this would be the case. Like there would be trade-off. There would need to be trade-offs between different genes and parameters and behaviors to evolve in such to be to survive in such an environment. But yes, the idea would be that if the it's tuned in the right way, then any bibits can evolve to any environments, given that it makes some compromises. Are you looking to expand this into a full game simulation, or do you want to keep it small? I intend to expand this into something as big as possible, because I believe it's interesting, and I think the support I've seen so far shows that. So yeah, I'd like to make this into a full something. It's pretty basic to what I have in mind for now. Pets for bibits, yeah. Are you adding poop? Well, poop is technically there, but it's just invisible because there would be a lot of poop, but I could make it visible. So you can make blood so that bibits can sense Earth bibit? Like pheromones, yeah, could be. Do you watch Wintergatten? That's the music group, yeah. Well, coding, it's I not often, but I've listened to it a few times. Feature creep less than Minecraft. Yeah. What's going on? I don't know. You tell me. Could you make the actual pixels on the sprites affectable by DNA too? That's the idea with 1.4, which is going to be procedural sprites. The idea would be that every single bibit would have its own sprite that would be created from its genes. So yeah, you see different species would look different. Ooh, a live stream. Yeah, welcome. Is this game programmed to run on more than one CPU core? No. Like I said, I don't know how to run on multiple CPU cores, so it's very inefficient. Bibit civilization update. Allow farming. I would like that to be possible with evolving plants, but like I said, making more simpler rules would allow them to do more interesting stuff, like just being able to move plants around and things like that. I don't know. I'm just wondering, do the Bibits have an incentive to give off pheromones? Because as far as I can see, giving them off will just get them caught by predators. Well, predators are pretty rare, so that helps. But I think it usually stems for using pheromones is another way to wire their brain, because let's say they evolve to produce pheromones and then do something. If they sense that pheromones, then it's they use it to wire their own brain, in fact, as an example. But like that, they then can influence other bivits. So if there is like good enough, oh, just real killer here. But yeah, if they could influence enough things like that, I figure it would make it would eventually evolve as a useful behavior. What's your favorite color? I don't really have one. I really like this one, which is like a maroon, I think. When I was very young, I liked pure red. That's pretty much it. I think one of my friends was coming over also. So I might head off soon. Yeah, let's say I head off in 14 minutes. Thanks for the stream. My pleasure. I found your project a couple of weeks ago, and I'm almost thrilled to watch about the updates. Yeah, thank you very much to follow this. What does the invisible poop do? Well, it goes back into biomass so that it can be recycled into new pellets. It's fertilizers, in fact. You should probably ask someone on air programming to help you to get this to run on more than one core. Yeah, it might help a lot. Is that neat? Yeah, it's some version of neat. Oh, Bertrand Rodriguez. Yeah, and you too were one of the you were one of the first people that followed me that commented on one of my first videos, I believe. And yeah, that's a kind of custom version of neat. Are you expecting to release this on Steam later on? Yes, this is totally something I would buy. Thank you very much. Well, yeah, eventually I'd like it. And farms mushroom, not plants. Well, why not both? Maroon is brown in French, right? In French, I think maroon is Bourgogne, which is like kind of deep red, wine red. Is it possible for the bibits to digest food so slowly that they have a functionally infinite supply of food being carried around? Functionally, yes. They could evolve to be very slow, but then, so it's a trade-off, really. If they could evolve to have a very slow metabolism. Yeah. Brown is brune. No, it's brun. Brun. Brown is brun. Yeah. Maroon is Bourgogne. That's it. I've said it. I have no more ideas to give you, so I'm gonna head out. Make sure to up on the subreddit to post you if you have any more ideas on. Back to that item launcher idea. Make bibits able to launch pheromones as well. Yeah, predators should be able to bait their prey with plants. That could be cool. It could eventually evolve when plants can be moved around. When bibits can poop, can they throw it at other bibits to deal that? Okay, not answering. Well, okay, that was very great. I think I'm gonna head out. I have friends coming over, so I need to cook food for myself, just like the bibits need. Do you want maybe just me to leave the stream with pivots like that, just like interesting. No, it's not. Okay, no, I'm not. Thank you very much for watching and for your generous support, and I'll see you next time. That wasn't stolen from anyone, but yeah, thank you very much, and heading off.